I actually start the live session. This is your friend Bruno Biava, and we're going to address something that has concerned me for a while, and that's the situation that we now have concerning the access of the public transit buses out here at the Walmart Supercenter on Northwest Street here in Albany. Currently, we're looking to the southwest, to the front of the store, and you can see the home and pharmacy entrance, and then you can see what had been an atrium, and this is the north atrium, and this is the area that I had discussed earlier, where the powered mobility carts had been kept, and where quite frequently those who were disabled or challenged, or also like I said, challenging their mobility, or simply had to use public transit, typically wait. There were windows in the front, and we would wait for the bus there, and we could look out the entrance. We could look out the entrance that was here. There were windows here, and see when the buses would arrive as they came in this area along here. All right, there's an indentation here. All right. It was a good arrangement because we had visibility where we could see when the buses were coming. We could actually look across the parking lot, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but the buses typically make a cycle. They come around like this, and then up the far side of where the garden area is now, and then pull around here, and then you'll see the indentation here, and they would load and stage in this area here. Now, right here, you can see where it begins to bump out. And we'll walk over here so you can see this a little bit more clearly. So bear with me. I'm using a cart as a bit of an aid at the moment. And we'll show it to you first from the driver's point of view. I'll take a look at a little bit of signage here that I'm unfamiliar with. Okay, you can see that there's actually a crosswalk sign here and a little bit of a ramp, so that those of us who need to use mobility devices can actually use that ramp instead of having to navigate the curbing. So you can see the door here. Well, actually, let me back out. You can see the bump out for the entrance. All right. And then you can see what had been the north entrance to the atrium. And a few short months ago, this was open. It was a push door. It wasn't a power door. But you could exit directly from that door and into this area where we could wait for the bus. And the beauty of this arrangement was that it was on the north side of the building, so that when it got extremely hot, we were able to at least possibly even wait in the shade in this area here. And most of our weather actually does come up from out of the south and the west. But now, since the renovation, this area has been blocked off from the rest of the store, and you can see that they placed a chair across the entrance, and you can see that they've plated over where the door handle had been and across. So, and I've been told that this has been turned into an office. Now, as we walk around, you're going to notice some things. First of all, you see the red line, which indicates the curbing. And the curbing is a bit of a drop. You're also going to notice the items that have been placed out in front of the store, which of course narrow the area for which you would have to navigate if you were using a wheelchair. Pushing a cart through here, you can actually see how narrow that is. All right. But even as you go forward and go further along, you arrive here. And here you can see that there's a bollard with a sign that says stop, wait here for pedestrian crossing. And it literally prevents anyone with a power chair from being able to negotiate into the entrance of the store. Because if you watch this, just a second here and I'll show you. If you watch this, if you take a cart, just a cart, and try and go over this, you can see the drop and how the cart has to go down, and you have to literally go into the path of traffic in order to get into the entrance if you're disabled. All right. Now, as it's been explained to me, there have been several alternatives that have been considered by the management. One of which would be to move the official stop for the rides bus over here. And you have to excuse me for a moment. It looks like they're draining some sort of residual water here into the street. I don't know what this is, but they are draining residual water. But they have talked about using this area as a bus staging area, which on its face looks good, but it leaves people exposed. Simply put, in the morning, the sun can beat very, very harshly down in this area, and there's no windows at all here. It's so ironic that they said that they needed that other area for office space when they could have actually installed something here and made an access for that same office space or whatever purpose it was they needed. And as far as the south entrance, which was similar, that is the busy end, because the access road to the Walmart Service Center comes from, you can't see it clearly for the white van, it comes from behind the van and then comes up like that. So most people who come in their individual automobiles use that entrance. Also, back beyond this, you can see, or you can't see it in this image, but is also the staging area for the drive-up deliveries, and it's located quite convenient to that south entrance. Now let's back up here for a few moments, and we're going to enter into the vestibule of the store, and of course, again, we have this bollard. And you can see, how narrow it is. You can see that you can just scarcely get a cart betwixt that bollard and the curbing. And your alternative, of course, is to, like I said, go out into the street, go into the thoroughfare, and have to bump out over that curbing and then back in, which really isn't very safe. Now, as we enter into the store, oops, let me grab that. Looks like we knocked over a cone. I'll put that, it's quite windy here, so I'm going to put that over here. Hopefully it'll stay for a while. But now you can start to see with the what the view is for people who have to wait inside. Now this is the vestibule of the Walmart. And as we pause here for just a moment, you'll be able to see what it is that I'm trying to describe. Of course, you can see the cart park, and then you can see the office with its peephole that has just within the past couple of months, blocked off the atrium. And there's just a few of the powered wheel carts here now. And as you turn around, you can see a few more, along with a cart retriever and a wheelchair, and then several other carts for those who may be caring for adults who are disabled. You can see here there is a little bit of a view, but it's largely blocked by the floral display. And simply put, you're required to stand in this area unless you take up a cart. And if you can't stand for a long period of time, you really don't have much of a welcoming experience, or a welcoming, or how can I put it, a friendly experience or kind experience as you leave the store. So this is what I've been talking about. It used to be we had that beautiful atrium where we could wait out of the weather, where we didn't have to go outside of the store and enter into a thoroughfare, where we didn't have to navigate around these bollards. And it makes for a much, much less kind experience for those who either rely on public transportation or simply use it by choice. And it's unfortunate to think about. I wish Walmart would take more time and a little bit more thought into this. I know I've been a bit confrontational in discussing it myself. I don't mean to be. It's just that I have a lot of experience, and I've seen a lot of things here. And I'd like to think that perhaps Walmart could be a little bit more kind. Those of us who choose to shop here out of necessity, because we might not be able to afford more expensive places. There's a lot of choice here that we don't have at other stores in Olney. Walmart has tremendous resources. They should be more fair in offering them to all, and not so much those who are gifted or youthful than those of us who are aging. And let's remember, at some point we all age. So that's going to be it for now, folks. Thanks for joining me with the live stream. I'm sorry I wasn't able to react or reply to your questions immediately, but simply participating helps. And soon I'll go ahead and have this on my channel in the I Went to Walmart playlist, and hopefully it will reach the powers that be, and maybe with some prayer and some divine intervention, that perhaps we can restore that atrium, maybe even install power doors, so that those who are challenged in their mobility can have a more welcoming experience even as they depart Walmart. So that's it. Remember to be kind to one another, and give thanks for what we do have. And until next time, this is Bruno Piava. Good luck, Godspeed, and we hope to see you.